Alright guys, on today's Get Back to the Gear, we're going to talk about some of the tents that were used during Waypoint Gemini. We had two types of tents. There were rooftop tents, which were all Tepui tents. We'll do a separate video on that. And then we had ground tents. One of the main ground tents that we had was the Oztent. We had a lot of questions about it, and you can do a fair amount of research and see what the Oztent's all about, but we figured we'd include this in our Get Back to the Gear segment. So this is the tent that the TAD team used. It's the Oztent RV-2, so it's a two-man tent. I figured what we'll do is we'll deploy it, show you how it deploys, and kind of walk through why we like it and just kind of how the tent works. So it just comes in a big duffel like this. Throw it up on the roof rack, strap it down. It's pretty easy to carry. It's not too terribly heavy. And just throw it on your shoulder like so. Walk from your vehicle to camp. So get to where you're going to set up your tent. Fold open the duffel like so. And it's all one piece aside from the awning. It's still pretty dirty from Gemini, but so you have the main tent, you have the two poles for the awning, and then you have your ground stakes. So you just pull that out. I'm going to turn this around so we're facing the camera. So you just roll it out like so. A little handle in here, you just grab that. Raise the tent up. There's these two support beams, which we'll show you on the inside, that kind of lock it in place. And that's it. I mean, that's at its easiest setup. That's the Oztent. Again, this is the RV-2 two-man tent, so it's plenty of space for really. What we do is two cots, one on either side. That way we don't lose any floor space, and we can slide our front runner wolf packs under those, and we'll do another video on the wolf packs. But as you can see, it's pretty spacious. To go over just some quick features, why we like it. This is the RV-2, so it's a two-man tent. You can do two full cots, and we like to use cots because one, they're comfortable, and two, we don't really lose any ground space, so we can slide our wolf pack from front runners. We can slide our wolf packs and our duffels under the cots, so we don't lose any of that space. But as I was mentioning before, this is the support arm. So when you want to deploy it or fold it down, that arm just moves like so, and that's what holds it up or deploys it down. And then just as a backup safety, so it doesn't fold down on you when you're in it, you have that that Velcro, so that keeps it from sliding down. Just to go over again some quick features of it. Windows all zip open or shut, so you can get nice ventilation. You can roll those up and tuck them. There's a small port down here in the corner that's a zipper, so you can zip that open and run electricity from your rig. So you know, if you want to run a generator or something, or if you want to run electricity or whatever from your rig, you know, you can run it in here and have a great setup in here if you wanted to do that. That zips open and shut. You have obviously just kind of like a net, bug net, if you will. So if you want to get good ventilation, and then you can just roll that protective layer out of the way. What else? We've got a big spacious window in the back, and then we'll shoot outside and show you kind of how that works. And then you kind of have these little cubbies down here just for keys, wallet, cell phone, little things like that you don't want to lose. But it's a pretty basic tent, but it's extremely sturdy, robust, sets up in seconds. So it's something that we really enjoy using for a ground tent. So let's shoot outside and go over some of the features. All right, so for the window outside, you have a couple different options. You can leave it rolled up like so, just to allow good airflow or sun. If you want to have it completely closed at night, let's say it's cold and windy, you can just roll that down, run those zippers down, and the window's shut. You have full protection. If you still want some environmental protection, but you want good airflow, you can deploy it out like this and run these guy lines out and cinch those down, so you can kind of have it really at any angle that works for you. So you know, you can run it at in a downward angle like this, so when it does rain or snow or whatever, the water still beads off, but you still have good airflow to the inside of the tent. So that's a great feature. Speaking of guy lines, you'll notice all around the exterior you have these additional guy lines, so you can run those to, you know, trees or other anchoring points, just to really expand the tent to its full capability. And also, if you're in real inclement weather, especially high winds, you can really anchor this thing down. There are numerous guy line points and anchor points all around the tent. So really, no matter the environment, you can really set this thing up to withstand a lot of abuse. So I'll take you around to the front and show you the last piece of it that we enjoy, which is the awning. So you can leave the awning rolled up like this, just run the tent as you see here. Nice and simple and easy. But if you do want sun protection or additional protection from the elements, you can roll that down and leave it down like that. So at night you can zip it shut and just have pretty much a fully encompassed highly water resistant tent or shelter. Or you can use the included poles and run the tent like so. And so you can kind of see how that would work, where you would run the other pole on this side, and then you would have an awning. And then again, you could run those guy lines. You have one in each corner, one in the middle. You could run those out to an anchor point and have your awning set up. And then just to show you, so these you just tighten and loosen. So what we would do, especially on waypoints, because we were hitting snow and rain, is when we left for the day, we just lowered one corner. So imagine the awning's coming out. So we would just loosen that, lower it. So then the awning was canted down. So when it did rain and snow, it didn't collect on the awning, it would just kind of run off a corner there. And that's very easily done just by twisting it, running it up or running it down. So that's just a quick down and dirty of the Oztent. Again, this is the RV-2, 2 being for 2-man. They have a 1 through 5. So they'll run you anywhere from about $600 to $900. $900 being the 5-man, somewhere around there, I believe. So it's a great option for a ground tent for those of you that want to do some overlanding or camping with a ground tent.